Quick question, Sheree. You said that you think that it's racism. How is it?
No, I don't know. I don't think that it's racism what they did to her. I think she's like borderline racist a little bit. So I kind of don't really care about her rhetoric as much, and I don't see her as really like a fit to do this type of work. Maybe she should go into something else and maybe choose another career path. If the numbers aren't numbering, bye baby. That's just how I see it.
But can black people be racist though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can black people be racist or
racist? I think prejudice. Black people ain't organized to act
black people can be racist.
No, I think prejudice.
Black people can be racist. Y'all try to change the definition to include we don't have power. And
Thank you. Not the definition, it's the term.
No, black people can be racist as hell.
Yeah, well, I think racism is also a verb. You have to act on that. To me, to bring racism about, you have to treat people a certain way because, in a sense, you have this sense of superiority and you have organization to tell people where they can and cannot sleep, where they can and cannot go, where they can and cannot get an education. Whereas being prejudiced, you just have a sense of other people are not as good as you based on the color of their skin. So there is a difference between racism and prejudice. But as far as black
people, there's not. No, there's not.
I don't think so.
Yo, can we just read? Can we read? Look, the definition of racism is characterized by or showing prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism against a person based on their racial ethnicity. So you show prejudice according to what? Someone's race.
What they look like. Yeah.
That's the lyrical definition, right? You can't make up whatever it's supposed to be power and all this other stuff. That has nothing to do with it. The definition is the definition, right? Black people can just say, I hate this other race, and they are prejudging a person based on that race.
Mm-hmm. That's so you're saying there's no difference between being racist and being prejudiced?
No, look at the definition.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have their biases, but I think that a lot of black people now say, well, we don't have the power to make changes and to do this. You're still racist. If you're saying seer this, the C-R-A-C-K, if you're still saying that, that's like the equivalent to a white N-word. So you're still saying that anytime a white person comes about, there's people making whole panels talking about, oh, well, make sure you don't do this as far as white supremacy this and white supremacy that, F the white people, F their slave. Like, come on, y'all. Like, it's old.
I think it's a difference between the words. And I think that black people can be both. I think that racism is based off of race alone. To be prejudiced, you can discriminate based off of a number of things, and it don't have nothing to do with just race alone. That's the difference between the two. So you can prejudge somebody based on their race, and that is being prejudiced, but it's not limited to race alone. That's the difference between racism and being prejudiced.
No, I mean, you can prejudge people for numerous things. But if you're prejudging people because of their race, then that's
correct.
Racist.
Correct. That's why it's a part. That's why it's a part of the word. It doesn't necessarily mean it's defined by.
I hear a lot of black people that
I can prejudge you based off of you being a woman.
Yes.
Correct. But I can't be racist towards you because you're a woman. Is my point.
So no, that's sexist, right?
Correct. That's my
They
point.
all have different definitions.
That's the difference between being, but prejudging covers a multitude of things.
Yes.
Being racist is being dedicated to just race.
Race, yes, absolutely.
So that's why that's the difference between the two words. And I do think that you can discriminate or you can hate somebody or you cannot like somebody based off of their race alone. And black people absolutely can be and are some of the most racist people that I've ever ran into in my life.
Quite a few say they hate white people.
One of those people, though, for sure. Like, I'm surprised she lasted this long on the network. And I was reading that she started, was it 2019 or 2020, like around the whole BLM thing. I'm really surprised she lasted this long. Because had it had been a white person saying that, and that's when I kind of changed, because I used to think the same way, black people can't be racist. But if a white person was to do the exact same thing that she was doing, they would have been canceling off the air years ago. So.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because I see a lot of people bought into this whole They bought into it. Listen, it's popular to be discriminatory, towards any other group that did not align with Black people for the last 4 years. It was very, very popular to do so. And it was very unpopular to be a Black person that called out the bullshit. And everybody switched up and they forgot about it. And then all of a sudden everybody was rocking with not discriminating based off of that. And it's funny because some of the people that I seen that was the most pro-Black were the ones that was spending all of their time dating white people. And that was the weirdest part about it.
Over by a white man, but talks about white supremacy.
Yeah, that's the wildest part about it, which for me, I'm cool with you dating whoever it is that rock with you. You go where you appreciate it, not necessarily where you tolerate it. But the hypocrisy was amazing to me. And I just couldn't understand it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I genuinely don't. But I don't know. It was popular to be, all Black everything. Everybody was putting their Instagram profiles to the black thing, blackout, Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was rocking out with that. That's when Kendrick Lamar really took off. All Black everything, Black very sweet of the juice. It was popular to be pro-racist, which was really pro-Black. And then Black people will make the excuse and say, well, just because I'm pro-Black does not mean that I discriminate against everybody else. Just because I celebrate my own doesn't mean that I'm removing you from the conversation. No, that's exactly what you was doing.
So are you saying pro-Black equals what? I'm sorry. Are you saying pro-Black is racist?
Yeah. Because conversely, if you say you pro-white, you call somebody racist. You can't put standards on other people that you're not willing to go by yourself. If somebody says I'm pro-white and they're white, you would automatically say that they are racist.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
I wouldn't think that personally.
I would. I'm not even.
No, I would
absolutely think.
Even if somebody's a nationalist, I don't think that they're a racist.
What would you need to be pro-white?
Interesting.
Not me. Now, other people may, but me personally, I wouldn't think that.
Look, I understand being pro-white. In America, it's a benefit. And yo, for real, like I play on a baseball team and I have white guys on a baseball team that I run. And I have one in particular who is like, man, I'm glad Trump got elected. He's like, it's safe to be a white man again. Right. And I'm like, okay, sure. But I don't begrudge him. He's still on my team.
That does not say that does not mean that he would ever let out of his mouth that he's pro-white. He would never say that.
No, but that's not what
he would never say this is a white-owned business that markets to white people.
Anton, you just said
automatically.
If somebody said they're pro-white, would I look at them as racist?
Have you
ever heard
Have you ever heard anybody say that they was pro-white?
No, but I would not care if they did.
And it's not even about you. It's more or less about. See, we speak to the majority, not just based off of what you think. And the fact of the matter is, if somebody says that they're pro-white, overwhelmingly, the general culture and the general population would say you are racist.
I agree with you. I mean, you said you, so you personalized it to me. So I was responding to that. I agree with you that most people would take that in a certain way.
So you can't hold somebody to a standard that we're not willing to hold ourselves to.
That's a fact.
One of the most basic principles within even religion, even the Bible, is that you treat people how you want to be treated. You ask for when we pray the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, you're asking to be forgiven according to how you forgive other people. You basically are evaluating people and to be judged according to how you deal with other people.
So
the basic way that we can show that we love God is to show how we love other people on this earth.
But hold on, Anton, but here's the thing, right?
When you discriminate against a person based off of something that they can't control, you then put yourself at a crosshairs in the bullseye.
So here's my question, right? Just because someone wouldn't say they're pro-white doesn't mean they don't feel they're pro-white.
But that's true. But
hold
that doesn't matter.
on. Let me finish.
That is absolutely true.
So, and because they may not say it because it's faux pas in society, that it still means they can feel it. So just because a black person says that I'm pro-black doesn't make them any different than a white person that feels like they're pro-white.
You're so wrong, and you know you're wrong.
No, hell no.
You can never be more wrong than you have been at that one state.
Okay. No, it's the same thing.
Okay, if somebody says that they're gay, do we then evaluate them to not be gay after they told you that they're gay?
That's a terrible analogy. I don't
it's
even
know.
It's
not a terrible analogy. You believe people. You believe people based off of what they tell you. If somebody tells me they are something, then I got to take you at your word. But I can't automatically assume that somebody is something that I think that they are just because I feel it. That don't mean
I don't know how this analogy even applies. It doesn't even make any sense.
Don't it? You just told me that if a person said that they're pro-black, Jesus Christ. You compared it. You made a comparative analogy to a person literally saying it out of their mouth, I'm pro-black, to you assuming that somebody is pro-white, but they haven't said it.
The feeling is still the same, bro.
No, it ain't about your feelings. It's
no,
not.
because your premise.
See, now you're going into female characteristics. We don't go by
whoa.
That is a female characteristic. We don't go by feelings. We go by facts.
Well, so
you cannot convict somebody in the court of appeal.
So what you're saying? Hold on. No. First of all, no. I resent the fact that
you cannot convict somebody in a court of public opinion.
Number one,
you can't go to court and say I feel like. You have to go.
If I say pro-black, that means I'm racist, right? That is what you said, correct?
That's not what I said.
That's not what you said.
That's not what I said.
Okay, so rewind the tape and tell me again.
I said that if you evaluate somebody and you say, okay, I have to hold somebody to the standard of saying I'm pro-black based off of your words, I said that you can't judge them differently. And then because if you looked at a white person and they said that I'm pro-white, society would automatically label them as racist. Okay, and so based off of your standards, no, because you introduced it. Based off of your standards, you would have to apply the same thing to the opposite in order to be able to judge the situation. So don't put it on me. That's an example that you use that I held you to the standard for because you couldn't substantiate your argument.
Anton, now, again, it's late. Maybe I'm wrong. I swear, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, that I heard Anton say, people that are pro-black are some of the most racist people that I've known in my life.
That is true.
Okay.
But and you know the key word is some of. It does not mean definitively that they are. Some of the most racist people is completely different from everybody that is saying that they're pro-black is racist. That does not mean the same thing. See,
okay, so
no. You established the cultural.
I'm trying to clarify.
You established how we were going to do this tonight. You said words mean things.
Yep.
And that's why you started to evaluate the difference between being prejudiced and racist, and I had to correct you.
Actually, you didn't correct me.
I absolutely correct
my
you.
definition, bro.
Absolutely.
No. You went on something else.
Nope. You went at Dalen.
No.
You went at Dalen. And you told Dalen.
Definition said. Just
you told Dalen that racist and prejudice meant the exact same thing. And then I had to correct you and help you to understand that
you did not correct me. Let's be
absolutely correct.
No, your definition is still wrong. I just wasn't arguing with you about it.
My definition of being prejudiced and
racist. No, your definition is the definition.
It's Google the definition and you can see it. But look, let's move forward. So I just want you to be clear with me. If someone says that they're pro-black, does that mean that they're a racist? Yes or no?
No, not by default.
Okay, great.
But however, to add context to that, some of the most racist people that I know are also pro-black.
Okay, that's fair.
And Joy Reid is still a piece of shit. At the end of the day, if we want to come back full circle, that pro-black bullshit only lasted so long because it was popular in order to get the advertising dollars, because everybody was embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. And eventually, once you had to start showing up and people actually went back to work and going about their daily lives, and they had to actually choose who they wanted to rock out with, Joy Reid ain't it. and I don't feel sorry for her. And you know, the interesting part about it is I want liberals, raging liberals, to be successful. I do. Because I don't want to exist in an echo chamber, because if everybody felt the same way, exactly the same way, it wouldn't be nobody for me to evaluate. I don't want to just go over and say everybody right, everybody right. I want to actually meet people that feel differently than me, that can actually give me some insight as to why it is that I should think differently about a particular subject. But she's just not it. She's not intelligent enough. She's not good looking enough. She doesn't articulate herself in a way that displays anything other than racism and bigotry and all of this other type of stuff. And so time to do away with her. You got to get rid of her. And we actually need to find somebody that's decent on the liberal side, but I can't find anybody. I can't think of one decent liberal that can articulate themselves and can argue a subject, especially a woman. I certainly can't find one of those that can articulate themselves and can argue a point outside of anything other than how they feel. So
I think Mark Hill does a great job at that.
Who was that?
These are her replacements.
look at EJ. Look at EJ Johnson.
These are the replacements I wanted to show y'all.
For the show, for Joy show?
Yes.
Oh, it's a 3-person thing. Okay.
It's
It was a panel. Yeah, it's going to be a panel show.
Okay.
And panels seem to do better anyways. That's why I'm like, it's not a race thing. Like what she's trying to make it seem, everybody's like, oh, she only got fired because she's Black. It's like, I'm pretty sure Rachel Maddow's next. And then what's the excuse going to be then? Just say that the numbers were trash and they're looking for something better. So.
No, I mean, Jerry, I agree with you 1000%, right? I mean, you look at most of these shows, whether it's political or even sports, right? There are very, very few people that can, be the solo act and carry it, right? Like the ones that are able to make it last are like legends, Howard Stern, Colin Cowherd, it's very, very difficult to do it by yourself. Extremely.
Yeah.
But I also do think as well that if she focused on her looks a little bit more, I think that she would have gotten a lot further. Because it's one thing for you to not be conventionally attractive, and then you're already spewing out hateful rhetoric, and then your numbers also aren't doing well. It's like it's stacked on top of each other.
Radical leftists usually look like how they think and how they act. So how she looks is just a reflection of her character, which is poor, unappealing, and unattractive. So we had to chop that bitch. Chop.
Anyways, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up on YouTube or like wherever else.
That'll be her best fit.
If she wants to continue.
But everybody
she's gonna get chewed up, bro.
Yeah.
Does she?
Feel bad.
Probably, but I'm sure she'll at least make a little expedition over there. Unless she gets picked up by another network or she gets her own show somewhere else. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, yeah, I have my channel. I'm gonna be XYZ, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
There's some people that unceremoniously takes an exit from some of their networks and stuff like that, and they do incredibly well because they just good at what they do and they got crazy work ethic and they talented. Tucker Carlson is one of them. He's thrived, outside of a traditional network. There's several people that's able to do it. I even give Don Lemon credit. I don't like Don Lemon as far as his lifestyle. I don't necessarily care about his talking point.
That's a good one. You asked who was the Black woman that can or a woman that can articulate themselves very well, and we forgot to mention Don
Lemon.
But conversely, he has been able to, against all odds, he's out there. He's working. That motherfucker be on red carpets. He be grinding. He be hustling. He be live every day on all platforms, 2 times a day sometimes. And it shows because he's growing and he's growing in influence and popularity more than when he was just on CNN. So I think that a lot of times most of the time it's guys that have the work ethic that allows for them to be able to thrive. But just Joy Reid creating a channel and then spewing the same nonsense that she was spewing without the major networking backing, she gonna have to put way more into it in order for her to be successful. There's plenty of people that get canned by a network and they cannot make it work on their own on a regular basis. They cannot make it work on their own.
And Dunn has a likability factor that I think she doesn't possess as well.
He's cute. He's a handsome man. He's well spoken. And he can sometimes treat people that he doesn't agree with respect, especially when
I think he gets along. Yeah, he gets along more with.
He shows restraint. He wants to throw a little shade, but he can still give that equal balance, treat everybody the same. So I think that's why he's still hanging.
He threw shade to Megyn Kelly today.
What'd he say?
He said, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fuck off. Like, I don't really.
That's what he really said that?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, but he found his demographic. It's just a lot of sassy people, a lot of black women. You know, they rock with him. So I can't hate on that. I can't hate on the fact that he's doing what he's doing. And I may not necessarily care for it, but I'm objective enough to give somebody their flowers when they're actually doing well and they're thriving. I don't think that Joy Reid, she gonna go the same way as Tiffany Cross and Angela Rye and all of them motherfuckers. They all gonna be in the same boat as far as I'm concerned.